The first week of the NBA has gone off without a hitch. I mean, I think there's so much going on in the NBA right now.
It's going off without a hitch for some people.
Nah, that's a fact because the Lakers. Anyway, no. First week has a lot of moments, and I think we got to talk about the NBA 75 list. We got to talk about Ben Simmons and his mental health issues, or
if he has
thereof.
those, right?
But first, Dwight Howard and AD got into a scuffle.
Yeah. Thought that was your block. My niggas ran that. Them niggas big pussy. Pass me a 10 packs. Selling that powwow. I got that anthrax.
Bitch, I know you didn't really do that. Motherfucker, spit on me. Ow! Motherfucker. Oh, get some of that shit. Oh shit, who the hell? Ow, damn. Why y'all just nigga punch me like that? You see that nigga reach, cuz? I ain't fucking with him.
Care to elaborate on that by chance?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to explode over. Now when I seen it happening on Friday, I was asking Dwight Howard, did he like slip and fall and hit his head at some point during the game, and I just not see it. Like, dog, it's two players in this entire organization, maybe three. Mm-hmm. It's three people in this entire organization that you should never get bunked with, if it just in the best interest of your employment here with the Lakers, is AD, LeBron, and Jeannie Buss. You can talk shit to whoever else you want to. You can yell. You can slap Frank Vogel in the forehead if you want to. I don't think nobody would give a damn. Do not put your hands on Anthony Davis. Don't even act like you about to hit him. First of all, we all know Anthony Davis' knees are made of paper mache.
No. Dog. Ow.
If you are the cause to this nigga AD being injured in any kind of way, we gonna make sure that the next time you play basketball, it's gonna be in some fucking park in Siberia. But if you're Dwight Howard in the position you are on this team, they brought you back to be a veteran presence, bro. They brought you back to be the muscle against the other team, not against us. The last thing we were expecting to get from Dwight Howard coming back here was a headache. So that's just number one. Now they have talked about it. They both have since.
I was gonna say I don't think this is necessarily truly a headache.
Yeah, they both downplayed it. They said it was over a defensive rotation, a pick and roll. Mm-hmm. They got over it. They left it in the locker room. Nobody has any beef. Let's stop talking about it. So I'll stop talking about it. I'll leave it alone.
The NBA, being that it's their 75th anniversary, dropped a list of the greatest 75 players. With that, there seems to be a tiny bit of controversy, as there probably should be, of who actually made the list as well as who was a snub and didn't make the list. Any thoughts on that?
You got the list up in front of you?
I do.
Just run off some names.
Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Giannis, Carmelo, Kobe Bryant, of course, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kawhi Leonard, Allen Iverson, Shaq, James Harden, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, Jerry West, Russell Westbrook, David Robinson, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen.
That's good enough. That's good enough. So, I mean, we understand what type of class we're dealing with.
It's 75 people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. I have a problem with 4 players not being on this list.
Not being on the list. So snubs.
Yeah, 4 snubs.
Okay.
Number 1, let's start with the current players that are still playing. Dwight Howard. I do have a problem with Dwight Howard not being on this list. At Dwight Howard's height, he was the best big man in the game. Defensive Player of the Year. I think he won an MVP.
Best big man in that era.
Yeah.
Okay.
Went to a finals. All NBA teams, all of that, all NBA defensive teams. Dwight Howard definitely deserves to be on that list. Probably even caused some frustration for him on Friday night. Who knows? But I definitely think he deserves to be on there. Here's another interesting thing that another current player that we're having who got snubbed off this list. It's Kyrie Irving. And so I'm watching whatever Nick Wright's show is, and I'm listening to Nick, of course, because he's a Kyrie hater, and him justify Kyrie not being on that list. And he's like, oh, well, Kyrie's never made an All-NBA, or he's never made first team All-NBA. He's never gotten a MVP vote, and blah, yada, yada, right? So it's a stats thing with Kyrie. The championship doesn't get him into it.
Especially considering he was the main, one of the main reasons as to why Cleveland won that championship.
Well, and that, it is what it is if you're arguing that that's not enough. But even within that, I ask you, how much does it weigh to be the best at something, right? Because I could argue that Steph could be on this list because of his shooting prowess alone, being that he is the greatest shooter that we've probably seen in NBA history, right? In league MVPs and championships be damned, because, Andre Iguodala can give you all of that, right? Yeah. But Stephen Curry is the best shooter of all time.
Yeah.
So I ask you, what do you have for the best ball handler of all time?
Yeah.
You dribble more than you shoot.
1,000%.
Dribble is more essential to basketball than shooting is. Kyrie Irving is probably the best ball handler of all time.
Yeah.
Argue with me.
Yeah.
Fight me. Kyrie Irving is probably the best ball handler we have ever seen. What do you have? You have the no, but see again, they don't have the best dunker on this list either.
That's true.
Dunking's a little less essential, I'll say. It's a little bit more of a flair stat.
Vince Carter.
Yeah, that's my next guy.
Okay.
Is Vince Carter. Vince Carter should not be left off this list.
And that's a fact.
Not at all. I don't care who you got to get the fuck off to put Vince Carter on it.
Vince Carter should be on this list simply for one thing: dunking over that nigga in the Olympics.
Fires. Bonato gets with a sloppy pass. Carter inside. Woo! And the crowd.
Well,
now granted, the slam dunk contest.
He also played 20 years in the NBA.
That's true too.
Played 20 years in the NBA. I'm not sure where he's at on the scoring list, but I would bet Vince Carter's probably top 20, right? Maybe top 20 scorer of all time.
I don't know that.
Vince Carter scored a lot of points, and he played a long time.
Yeah.
The last person who got snubbed off this goddamn list.
What was that?
Tracy McGrady.
Thank you. That's the one I wanted to talk about.
How the fuck isn't Tracy McGrady on this list?
Tracy McGrady should definitely be on this list. Tracy McGrady should definitely be on this list.
He for sure got some MVP votes. He for sure made some All NBA teams.
And if it wasn't for his injuries, he'd have a lot more accomplishments than some of these people on this list.
I'm just trying to say, man.
Tracy McGrady is one that I would definitely say is a snub. One that people are saying, I don't know. Well, no, I think I might put this person over some of the people who have made this list, and that's Klay Thompson.
Yeah. How do you have Steph? Is Draymond on this list?
No.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Not. But how do you have Steph and not? I guess in that case, the only deciding factor would be the MVPs.
Yeah, I can see that. But the championships are there. Obviously, an integral part of those Warriors teams. Probably
if you have Steph and Kevin Durant's been better than Klay Thompson. But in terms of what they seem to be using to measure these things, all NBA teams and championships.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson is as worthy as anybody else on it. Definitely as worthy as Dennis Rodman.
I don't know if you've seen, but Draymond and Steph came together and gave Klay Thompson a 77 jersey.
Jesus.
Which is nuts.
Is Derrick Rose on this list?
And you know what? Thank you for reminding me of that.
Is Derrick Rose on this list?
Derrick Rose is definitely deserving.
I'm trying to I'm really confused on what the barometer was. What was the measuring stick? What was the cutoff? What were the rules? Somebody read me down the list of requirements because I don't understand.
Derrick Rose
Dennis Rodman is sitting on this list
in his prime, and despite obviously having a slump after his injury, came back and still showed flashes of greatness. I happened to catch highlights of the Bulls game, and I saw two former Lakers hooping it up out in Chicago because your boy Lonzo threw a oop to Caruso, and United Center erupted.
Vucevic has made two good defensive plays in a row. Ball for Caruso! Triple-double! And the Caruso show! And Lonzo Ball with the lob!
The Bulls are a very exciting team, man. They are going to be a defensive terror for a lot of people. Caruso, Levine, Ball, DeRozan. That's a nasty team, man. That
Sure is.
that is a scary team to have to penetrate through on the perimeter. So, yeah, man, all the best of luck to them, man. 2 former Lakers, Zoe and Caruso. Wish them all the best, man. I'm glad we don't have to play them 4 times a year. We're not going to get out of here without talking about Ben Simmons.
Jesus. I knew there was something. I couldn't remember what it was.
Talking about Ben Simmons.
All right, yeah. So, obviously, the biggest thing that I remember is that he went to practice and basically decided he didn't really feel being in practice and doing some of the things that Doc Rivers was wanting him to do. And now everybody's citing mental health issues is the reason why Doc Rivers had to kick him out.
No. So he went to practice disinterested, right? Fucked around. And that was when they were saying that he had his cell phone in his pocket and it ended up being like a jersey tag or some shit like that. So then the next day, apparently he must have been more disruptive when the cameras weren't there and he got kicked out and suspended for last Wednesday's game.
Yeah.
So most recently, after that happened, after he got suspended, he goes back to the front office of the Sixers and cites mental health reasons as to why he's not able to rejoin the team after being suspended. At what point do we start to question the validity or the intentions behind invoking mental health as, you know, an excuse to get out of things? Because it only, things like that, only spaces like that only remain pure for so long before grifters start to get wind and they see another opportunity to take advantage.
I think it's a slippery slope when you talk about mental health because there are people who are legitimately going through things.
Mm-hmm.
I think of people like Kevin Love when he came out about his mental health issues.
Kevin Love looked like he was going through it.
You know what I mean? And honestly, he's probably still going through it.
He got the salt and pepper here. But, bro, bruh, come on, man. We done signed Frank Mason and all these other. We done signed Avery Bradley. We could let one of them go. Just let us know that you won't out. You won't out blink twice.
It is what it is. I definitely believe Kevin Love has gone through some mental health issues. I believe players like, Derrick Rose at some point has probably gone through some mental health issues. Mm-hmm. When I look at Ben Simmons and what's going on with him, do I necessarily believe in mental health being the cause of him being disinterested? No.
And it's because of the circumstances in which it came, right? You demand a trade. Sixers presumably refused. So you're asked to come back in, right? I'm not coming in. I'll give up the money. I'll take the hit. All right, I changed my mind. I'll come into practice, but I'm going to act like a dick. You get kicked out of practice, right? I think I even seen before he started citing mental health, he missed another game due to back soreness, right? Mm. So it's like he's throwing all these different things out there, and as they're being smacked away, because, okay, you can act a dick in practice, but eventually you're going to have to get on this court.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? You can claim you have an injury, but I know if I'm paying somebody $200 million over 4 years, that whatever injury you occur for any reason, we're going to have to find out exactly how you got it. You for damn sure didn't get it from practice or playing. Mm-hmm. So how the fuck did you get injured? How did your back get tight? Oh, breach of contract? We don't pay you. So now all of the excuses that end in him not being paid or him having to take some sort of personal responsibility for what's going on right now, that's how we arrive at mental health. And I don't want to ascribe that level of empathy to somebody who's seeking to use it as a way of giving an unimpeachable excuse. Mm-hmm. For not being present.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I have mental health issues is an unimpeachable excuse for something. Right? And it could be a valid excuse or it could be concocted. In this case, the evidence is definitely leaning towards concocted because at no point did we hear anything about Ben Simmons' health issues or his mental health issues until all the other fuck shit failed.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not going to sit out. The disruptions at practice is not going to keep us from playing you permanently. And your injury thing didn't work. So now you're going to give us the one thing that we can't come out here and say, oh, it's your fault. Mm-hmm. Right? It gives him the political cover.
Yeah.
But I again, I don't know how long that's going to last. They're not required to pay you all of that money, and you're not playing because, of your mental health status. I don't think that they can. Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if that's counted as an injury. Because if he was legitimately injured, I know they would have to pay him. Yeah. But I don't know how that works. I don't know what his contract says. So, but in any respect though, it's about the validity and the amount of credit that we start giving people on some of these things, because the minute you say that, people back off immediately. Look what all the Sixers did, right? Yeah. Joel Embiid goes from, hey man, I really don't give a damn what that guy does. We're trying to win basketball games. Mm-hmm. To, oh, we love him. That's still my brother. Yeah. Because they have to. Yeah. They literally have to. They're in a spot where if they say anything other than that, now they look like they're bullying Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm.
The worst part to me about players tanking, is the best way I could put it, is that it seems that James Harden obviously set a precedent. But James Harden is a better player than Ben Simmons.
He is.
And so for Ben Simmons to think that he can take the James Harden approach and tank so that he can find his way out of there is kind of laughable.
The situations are very similar. James wants out of Houston after he fails, right? After he comes up short. It's even more so that way with Ben Simmons, though, because you can directly point to one play. You give us one play, we probably in the finals. One.
Yeah.
One play goes our way, we probably in the finals.
Yeah.
And that's something that has to be addressed. The main issue here is that your coach said that he didn't have confidence in being able to win a championship with you at point guard because you refuse to shoot the ball. You will not shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, we can get you anywhere you want. But if you don't shoot the ball, we ain't going to have the same problem with you that Philadelphia had.
Yeah.
That has to be addressed, bro. It has to.
And that goes to what I was saying is that James Harden at least had value when he tanked as a player. You tanking as a player is detrimental to your value.
Brooklyn was able to get James Harden and ingratiate him into an offensive system seamlessly. That is not what's going to happen with you. Anybody who gets you is going to have to overhaul their entire team to fit you. And you have not shown a willingness to get better at the things that limit you. So explain to me why I'm going to give up the farm for a player who's limited offensively and shows no interest in changing those limitations. Seeks to burn the house down
and take the easy
way
when
he
out.
is no longer capitulated to.
Yeah.
That's not a hot commodity these days. It's not where everybody's beating down the NBA coffers for, fam. It's just not. So that there has to be some personal accountability taken in that, man. Like, I would have mental health issues too if I had to play basketball and didn't want to shoot.
That's a fact.
So don't give me mental health issues now when it wasn't mental health issues when you were giving your teammates the middle finger at practice, right? It just wasn't. Don't give me that. We seen it. It's on video, fam. We watched you. You didn't look depressed or sad. You looked gleefully detached.
Yeah.
You don't get to give off that type of energy and then get sympathy behind it. That's not what I'm not about to go for. Because if you give that to him, any player or anybody really will be able to use that as a get out of jail free card. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Precedent. I don't want to see people manipulating or seeking to exploit actual mental health.
Very real issues.
Yeah, issues because you need good press. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Fuck no.
Hey. Where y'all going? Where y'all going?
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this, go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.